Brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, and play cousins. What's good, family? It's your boy, Professor Michael. Renegades, we back into it. And, today's a special day because I told y'all I'm giving y'all multiple reactions on this one. All right? So there's only going to be one kind of initial reaction because once I hear the song, you know what I'm saying? If there's any bars to break down, I'm going to be able to catch those bars. But the beautiful thing about listening to it 4 times in one video is because not only am I going to get to initially catch whatever bars I catch, but then I'm going to get to listen to it 3 more times, back to back. So if I missed anything, I'll probably catch it by the end of the last video. I hope. But everybody keeps telling me there's different versions, different styles. So I didn't want to cheat and listen to any of them, you know what I'm saying, prior to or listening to this version or that version, because I wanted to make sure my initial reaction to the song was authentic and organic with y'all. So today, you know what I'm saying, we're getting into chapter 7 with some bonus footage at the end. So lock in, buckle up, make sure that y'all stay tuned, get your popcorn ready, whatever the analogy you want to use in, we finna dig in, all right? So let me do my housekeeping. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Y'all, I know that we've had a lot of people that have showed up, watched these videos. I've seen some of the views that have shown up on some of the Ren videos. And I know Ren has people that love him to death. With that being said, there's obviously a lot of people that have watched this content on Ren that aren't hitting the like button and aren't hitting the subscribe button. Please, if you like this video, consider hitting subscribe, become part of the Old Heads University. I would love to have y'all be part of the growth journey and stay along and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can stay up on everything that we do moving forward. All right. With that being said, antennas ready. I'm looking forward to this. Y'all got me hyped on this one. I don't know anything about this song. I'm looking forward to the chapter. Everybody keeps telling me that my hardest chapter is in the rear view now. That was chapter 6. That one was tough. That one was tough. I held it together, but it was tough. So I'm hoping this one isn't as bad as that one. But I am looking forward to the prize in the Cracker Jack box, so to speak, at the end, that I get a chance to react to these videos. It's going to be fun. So let's get into it. Without further ado, Ren, chapter 7. Let's go.
Before he even had the test results, the doctor in Brussels glanced up from the form he'd asked me to fill out, and he said, "You have Lyme disease. We can run the tests, but I'm certain of it." I'd heard of Lyme in passing during my hours trawling the internet, but I'd never spent long diving into it. It was an extremely rare disease in the UK that you can get from tick bites, so it never really came across my radar. I sat there, puzzled for a moment. I said, can I get better? He said that many people go on to recover. Some don't. Right. I wanted to ask him so many questions, but my mind at that moment was totally blank. The test results eventually came back, sure enough, positive for Lyme, and the co-infection Bartonella, along with many other biomarkers which suggested autoimmunity and immune dysfunction.
Okay, so already starting out, if I was Ren in that moment that the test results came back, there had to be some elation, obviously. There had to have been like, oh my God, they found it. But there also had to have been a lot of pissed offivity. Well, however, I know that's not even a word. I'm trying to make it up. He had to have been very angry, kind of, in that moment. All these years I've spent trying this and that and seeing all these different doctors and all these different blood tests being run and all this stuff that's been done, all these so-called professionals that I've gone to for information on what's wrong with me. And this one guy, I walked into the room, filled out a form, and without even having to do the blood test, before the results even came back, he was able to diagnose me just like that. You got to be fucking kidding me. And then the test results come back and the test results actually verify what he said. You mean to tell me all this time none of you motherfuckers could? There had to have been a moment of kind of like I said, I don't know if the elation, if the happiness that we found something was on that scale that weighed down, You know what I'm saying? It was stronger, more. It was, but that anger had to been pretty high up there. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. Like, seriously. But at the same time, when he said, he asked the doctor, "Can I get better?" and he said, "Some do, some don't." And he was like, "Oh, all right." And then also, there also had to be a period in his mind that was like, okay, that means when he said some do, some don't, Ren is the ultimate optimist, but we can't act like there aren't moments of pessimism in there also. And there had to been a moment been like, after everything that I've been through, watch, I'm going to be one of the ones that don't. You know what I mean? Like, it had to cross his mind. Even if his real character says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to be one of the good ones." There had to been a small glimmer of, yeah, it's just my luck. We all have those moments. But yeah, I'd have been. I honestly would have been. I probably would have been more frustrated at the old doctors than I'm excited about what's about to happen. Like, I can't believe that I had to suffer through all that shit. This could have been solved.
My whole life, I'd been waiting for this moment. To have something printed on a piece of paper that showed that I wasn't actually fucking crazy.
But again, that part too. Yeah, I bet the elation overweighed the frustration. Because like he said, my whole life I've been waiting for somebody to say that I'm not fucking crazy. Because everybody else thinks that this is in my head. Like, I'm just explaining shit that ain't real. So there had to been a tremendous amount of relief in that moment.
Waiting for this moment. To have something printed on a piece of paper that showed that I wasn't actually fucking crazy. That I could shove in the faces of anyone who'd made me feel like a hypochondriac or like a head case. But when the moment finally came, I felt numb. It was hard to rejoice. I had the lingering PTSD from the psychotic meltdown the year before, which made it pretty hard to break into the realms of happiness. Instead, I did what I always do. I got home and I took to the internet and I researched the best ways to escape. The summer that I got sick, I spent 2 weeks camping in a small festival in Dorset. One night, me and friends decided to climb a nearby hill to build a bonfire in the woods. On the way there, the fields were full of long grass and deer. 3 people, all my age, who all attended that festival, came down with ME or fibromyalgia-like symptoms over the course of the next year.
Oh, wow.
One was a friend of the family who was shut in a dark room for years because the light would be too intense for him. Before that festival, he was bursting with life, a successful capoeira dancer, reduced to a zombie. Lyme disease seemed to be as much of a medical labyrinth as ME was.
Wow.
On one side, there was a whole host of specialists who believed Lyme bacteria becomes chronic, evades the immune system response, can sometimes evade testing, and leads to debilitating symptoms unless treated with a long course of antibiotics. On the other side were doctors who claimed that Lyme can't persist. It's easily treatable with a 2-week course of doxycycline, and further symptoms following that must be due to an autoimmune response triggered by the Lyme, or perhaps an unrelated, undiscovered cause. I educated myself as best I could on all theories, trawling through research papers on PubMed, conversing people in support groups, often contacting leading Lyme scientists via email or phone to ask them questions. Lyme disease is caused by Borrelia, a spirochete bacteria that causes symptoms like extreme fatigue, confusion, joint pain, heart problems, digestive issues, anxiety, depression, and in extreme cases, hallucinations. So everything was adding up. I fell down internet rabbit holes of learning how Borrelia produces outer membrane vesicles, which contain outer surface proteins which can modulate your entire immune response, essentially dampening it for its own survival. It was a truly insidious pathogen, a smart one out of a twisted horror sci-fi. There would be online groups claiming it was created in a lab in Plum Island off America and weaponized. Due to the widespread suffering it seemed to cause, and given how hard it was to treat, it was easy to see how people gravitated towards these sorts of superstitions and speculations. The main thing that made my head swim was the sheer number of treatment options, in part a byproduct of the cognitive dissonance in the medical industry at the time. There were countless antibiotic protocols, herbal protocols, immune system modulating protocols, wackier ones where people would be stinging themselves with bees or swallowing certain helminth parasites to modulate their immune systems. It was a wild west, and I wasn't so naive to be unaware that there were a lot of quacks in that space selling people snake oil. financially taking advantage of desperation. Like a lot of the medical industry, I despise people and companies who see opportunity to profit from other people's misery.
That is who Ren is, right there.
Snake oil, financially taking advantage of desperation. Like a lot of the medical industry, I despise people and companies who see opportunity to profit from other people's misery. If you're watching this video and you're one of those people, I would highly consider switching your role in the world and being on the right side.
Yeah.
One common factor a lot of these protocols seem to share was you would certainly get a lot worse before you got any better. There was something called the Jarisch-Herxheimer reaction. As you kill off the pathogens in your system, they release biotoxins in your body, which are eventually cleared out by your kidneys and liver. These can cause systemic inflammation, additional fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, pain, flu-like feelings. I was no stranger to these things already, but when they got even worse, it was a mental battle. I sought out as many success stories as I could, and I looked for common threads in the ones of the people who made a full recovery. It seemed like long courses of antibiotics were working for some people, but to do it safely I needed to be in the care of a specialist. The NHS were fucking useless. After multiple appointments, one with an infectious disease specialist, they told me the most they could give me was a couple-week course of doxycycline. I knew that probably wouldn't be enough. They told me chronic Lyme wasn't something that they recognised. I presented them with printouts of much of the research I'd gathered online for the most recent studies, which they dismissed. One of them told me I seemed obsessed, and they asked me if I thought about getting a hobby.
I seem obsessed and asked me if I thought about getting a hobby. Yeah, motherfucker, I'm obsessed. I feel like shit. I've been dealing with this for years. Yeah, obsessed I am. Getting a hobby? My hobby is trying to get better, dumbass. Maybe you need to get a career that you actually know what you're doing in.
One of them told me I seemed obsessed, and they asked me if I thought about getting a hobby. I fantasized about dragging him by his tie across his desk and pressing a stapler into his skull. Then I politely got up and left. Doxycycline would lead to improvements for a short time frame, and then my symptoms would come creeping back. I tried many antibiotic and herbal approaches to treat the Lyme without much luck. I tried things like Rife treatment, which is essentially running an electromagnetic pulse through your body in hopes that it will kill the bacteria. I was desperate. It seemed that America took Lyme disease far more seriously than the UK, which made sense as it was far more prominent there. I settled on a doctor called Dr. Jemsek over in Washington, and when I could, I would busk or I'd sell music online to raise money. My girlfriend at the time also ran a fundraiser, and my mum said that she'd also help contribute towards flights. It's not easy being sick and broke, but somehow we made it work. A week before I was due to fly out...
That's a bar. That's a bar for a lot of people in the world. And especially with this greed that exists in the medical profession and in pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. He said, it's not easy being sick and broke. That's bars.
A fundraiser, and my mum said that she'd also help contribute towards flights. It's not easy being sick and broke, but somehow we made it work. A week before I was due to fly out, something happened which changed my whole life. I've always been a believer in the good that you're putting out in the world coming back to you. Luck, therefore, is more of a karmic consequence. When I was making video blogs, I wasn't doing it to build a following or for any sort of social merit or personal gain. I was doing it because I thought I was going to die. I was doing it because I wanted to feel like I'd left some sort of positive mark on the world, like I'd helped. I remember waking up one morning and going through the comment section of the latest video I'd posted, only to find a message from a British doctor who was running a clinic over in Germany in Los Angeles. He is the third and final angel of this story. He was reaching out to offer to help, and he didn't want anything in return. We exchanged messages and ended up jumping on a video call together. The angel explained that he sympathised with my story. His son was a musician, and at his clinic he'd seen firsthand the countless times the destruction that Lyme disease was causing. He explained his clinic was involved in cutting-edge stem cell procedures and seeing promising results for various autoimmune and Lyme patients. The cost of the procedure was upwards of $25,000, something that I could never afford. But he said that every year he personally selected patients to attend his clinic for free. He would offer me the treatment free of charge. All he wanted me to do was document my experience.
Wow.
It made sense to me that if Borrelia was able to modulate the immune system for its own survival, that an intervention that focused on immunological homeostasis would help. The clinic also offered antibacterial IVs targeting the Lyme and various other treatments intended to build the body back up after years of chronic health complications. I was kind of in shock. When a stranger reaches out and offers something so generous, it's natural to doubt his intentions.
Yeah.
But something told me to trust this kind offer. I really had nothing to lose, and as morbid as it sounds, my willingness to die made it easy to throw myself into a more experimental procedure. There was also some security in the fact that he wanted me to document my experience and share it with the world. If it had been more sinister, surely he wouldn't want that sort of exposure. I decided I'd still go to the initial consultation with Dr. Jemsek, as I'd raised the money, but I would catch a flight to LA once it was done. Money was still an issue. The entire treatment length was about 6 weeks, and back then I could have never afforded the accommodation for that long. I decided to hop on Facebook, and I found a Lyme support group based in LA. There, I found people going through the treatment at the clinic who were happy to put me up in their guest rooms. Despite all our faults, human beings' ability to empathize, lift up strangers, and collectively solve problems purely because it's the right thing to do is such a beautiful characteristic to carry.
I love that. I love that. I tell you, that's a comment that I make all the time, and that makes me, a peddler of hope. With all the stuff that's going on in the world, all the negativity, all the fighting, all the division, everything that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, the corruption, that's all that stuff. Whenever somebody comes to me and they want to argue this or that, you got to choose this or that, or if it's this, and I say, listen, everybody wants to go to this, it's the end of the world sort of conversation where, like, if this happens, oh my God, and if that happens, you better watch out. And call it naive, but I'm one of the ones left that feels like I still have too much hope and belief in humanity to ever believe that anything is going to be the last thing. Does that make sense? I feel like there is still enough kindness. There is still enough humanity. There is still enough love, enough empathy. There is still enough basic decency in the world that while we may have some shit that we got to go through along the way, eventually hope will prevail. Kindness will prevail. Love will prevail. So I always say, I'm not worried about all this stuff that y'all talking about, because I don't think humankind, they have to be together. I'm not saying humans, because humans are capable of some despicable things. I said humankind, the two words together, humankind or human kindness ultimately will win out. Call that naive, but I am a peddler of hope. I am a peddler of love and a peddler of empathy, because that's who I am in my heart. So that's all I can give back. I can't give, oh, you better watch out. I can't give that, because that's not who I am. I can give, hey, you're having problems? Okay, listen, don't take that out on me. Let's talk about it, and let's try to figure out a way that we can come together and solve that problem. There's no reason for us to be mad at each other, because I didn't do that to you. So don't put me in the box that you put everybody. I'm sorry. I'm about to go on a rant, because that kind of stuff touches stuff in me. So, but that is dope that he said that. Then, and there's enough human kindness, enough empathy left in the world that there is still people that are willing to help somebody that they don't even know, simply for the sake of being kind, for the sake of understanding, for having empathy. and for realizing that we're all in this shit together.
I found people going through the treatment at the clinic who were happy to put me up in their guest rooms. Despite all our faults, human beings' ability to empathize, lift up strangers, and collectively solve problems purely because it's the right thing to do is such a beautiful characteristic to carry. Mm-hmm. I sincerely hope that we can find ways to hold on to our own empathy and humanity as we step into the future.
Right.
I believe these traits will save us as a species.
Damn, I just said that. Damn, that's exactly what I just said. Thank you, Ren.
Such a beautiful characteristic to carry. I sincerely hope that we can find ways to hold on to our own empathy and humanity as we step into the future. I believe these traits will save us as a species. Survival of the fittest is a myth in a society where we have all our basic needs met. It becomes survival of those willing to cooperate.
I'm going to say it again. How you reading and spitting bars? This ain't a rap.
In a society where we have all our basic needs met, it becomes survival of those willing to cooperate. The time came and I flew out to America with Momoko, keeping me company and keeping an eye out in case my health crashed. I went to the initial consultation in Washington, D.C. They recommended that I get on a minimum of a year-long course of various antibiotics and supplements, some to be rotated. I saw this as my fallback plan if the stem cells didn't work. We then headed to LA. It was summertime, so it was boiling. The clinic was based in Beverly Hills. The juxtaposition of spending most of my life in waiting rooms that were falling apart, feeling like a defective product on a conveyor belt that's being rushed along only to be dismissed, to then go into being in what felt like a 5-star health spa where there seemed to be a genuine care and interest for my well-being was quite odd. I was greeted enthusiastically by the doctor. He seemed a lot younger than his age. When I mentioned this, he laughed and he said it was the stem cells. As we spoke, I could see his childlike enthusiasm for what they were doing at the clinic. Stem cells were very in vogue at the time.
All right, hold on. Sorry, y'all, I got to read this. However, researchers found that there is a variety of sources for MSCs, including umbilical cord tissue, body fat, molar teeth, and amniotic fluid. Okay.
Younger than his age.
I don't know much about stem cells either. I mean, I've heard about a lot of the research and things like stem cells are being used for, but as far as like Ren probably at this point, because of how much he dives into finding out about this stuff, he knew a lot more about it than I did.
When I mentioned this, he laughed and he said it was the stem cells. As we spoke, I could see his childlike enthusiasm for what they were doing at the clinic. Stem cells were very in vogue at the time. There was also much territory to explore, and the potential of what they could offer harder to treat diseases was incredible.
Stem cells are immunoprivileged. MSCs have shown the ability to avoid a negative response from a person's immune system, allowing the cells to be transplanted in a wide range of people without rejection. Okay.
Also much territory to explore, and the potential of what they could offer harder to treat diseases was incredibly exciting and promising. It was hard not to feel some of that contagious excitement leaking from the doctor. He explained that because I've been sick and misdiagnosed for so long, it wasn't going to be easy. There was no magic fix. At times I might feel like giving up, but I should trust the process. So I did. When we first arrived, I was staying on the floor of a young couple's apartment. They were just starting treatment at the clinic. Fontaine was a songwriter and he was an actor. One night he asked me if I liked bikes, and then he took me out on the back of his Harley Davidson and drove at high speed through the hills surrounding LA. It was interesting talking to Fontaine about her experience. I'd found people I could relate to online, but very rarely did I meet people in person whose experience had mirrored my own. She'd also been through the ringer of misdiagnoses, medical dismissal, left to suffer, trying desperately to claw back her own life. I started to realise this problem wasn't localised to the UK. It was global. So many people were going missing and screaming into a void.
That screaming into a void. Yeah.
The first week at the clinic was aimed at building my body back up. I would sit for hours while various vitamins and nutrients were dripped into my body to address any deficiencies that may have occurred from years of being sick. They also offered talk therapy, lymphatic drainage massage, ways to calm your nervous system that would aid healing. I was still having to pinch myself that this was all free. I felt guilty for the people who had to pay. It wasn't easy. Occasionally I'd have an immune reaction to one of the IV drips. I didn't know at the time, but I had mast cell activation syndrome, which meant my body would become highly inflamed in response to many food, vitamins, even things like perfumes or scents from everyday cleaning products could set it off. A year later, while in the German clinic, I would be minutes away from nearly dying after going into anaphylactic shock during an IV drip. A nurse luckily caught me in the nick of time and injected me with an EpiPen. I spent a night in the emergency ward with Germans who couldn't speak a word of English, who put me on an electrolyte drip that made me feel even worse. During the second week in LA, I moved places to stay with another couple. The husband had been a prop and set designer for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They were extremely
Classic.
even worse. During the second week in LA, I moved places to stay with another couple. The husband had been a prop and set designer for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They were extremely generous with their time and space and became almost surrogate parents to me and Momoko. There is an unusual companionship you feel with someone who has faced similar levels of suffering as yourself, like an unspoken bridge of understanding.
Yeah.
At the time, I was having difficulties with my girlfriend. I wanted her to come with me to LA, as this felt like a pretty pivotal moment in my life. It was a time where I really just wanted to feel safe, but she couldn't take the time off work. I think I felt a little bit funny about the fact Momoko had made the time and sacrificed her own work and she hadn't. She was being distant with me whenever we spoke on the phone, which frustrated me more and more. We ended up arguing a fair bit. I think this is the beginning of seeds that would soon grow into finding extremely difficult to be in relationships in general. I usually feel pretty unlovable, extremely isolated, very antisocial. I felt alienated, often bitter that most people go through their lives not knowing what it's like to hurt every day.
You know, of all those things that he named, the antisocial, all that kind of stuff, you know, the one that actually bothers me the most, the one that most people feel, and the one that pretty much goes untalked about the most. Everybody says, you know, they can diagnose, antisocial. They can diagnose, stuff like schizophrenia. They can diagnose PTSD. They can diagnose all this other kind of stuff. But the one thing that has no diagnosis that most people never even ask about. People say, how do you feel? But the one thing that gets overlooked most of the time is what he said, feeling unlovable. How you feel about yourself, not how do you feel about what's happening. How do you feel about it, but how do you feel about yourself? And he said, most of the time I felt pretty unlovable. That's a hard one right there.
Whenever we spoke on the phone, which frustrated me more and more, we ended up arguing a fair bit. I think this is the beginning of seeds that would soon grow into finding extremely difficult to be in relationships in general. I usually feel pretty unlovable, extremely isolated, very antisocial. I felt alienated, often bitter that most people go through their lives not knowing what it's like to hurt every day.
Yeah.
That they didn't appreciate the freedom their bodies allowed them as they should.
Yeah.
To be alive and to not hurt is a blessing. To be alive and not hurt is all I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
The day of the stem cell transplant finally arrived, and I was nervous, as you would be getting a giant fucking metal rod shoved into your skin. The doctors offered me an anti-anxiety med, and I was never one to turn down free drugs.
He's always adding some sort of, I feel like, we need to see Ren on stage, like doing a comedy skit or something.
With autologous stem cell transplant, they take cells from your own fat, centrifuge them, and then do some magic science shit and then feed them back to you in an IV. To acquire these cells, they have to do liposuction. The issue was I was already skinnier than a shadow on a cloudy day. They would usually take the fat from the stomach, but as I had virtually no body fat, they had to go in through the back near my coccyx. They spent about 20 minutes sawing away at your insides and separating your muscle from fat. Then they inject you with a liquid that breaks it down and they suck it back out, fresh for the stem cell harvest. There's a video of me drugged up and laughing as a needle as big as my forearm gets rammed into my back. I returned home pretty bruised up, but full of hope.
Like they're digging for gold. And so I'm pretty kind of bruised up. I've got these two little holes here where they took the stem cells out and they put them back in my arm. You can't really see on this camera because the light's too much, but I've got more holes in my arm than a Scottish heroin addict.
I'd met people at the clinic who were further along the process than me, who were singing the praises of how much better they felt. For the first 3 months I didn't really notice much, but I was told it would take time. I was already doing somewhat better from the 6 weeks of IVs. It's an unusual psychological space to be teetering on the precipice of hope that your whole life could change. There's a certain tension and a certain excitement that comes with that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I talked about earlier in the video, the certain tension and the certain excitement. Like, there had to be a certain, like, yeah, because of what he'd already been through. It goes all the way back to what I talked about when the video first came on.
I was also having big problems with my girlfriend at the time. I'd found out some things that had really shaken my trust. In retrospect, I should have just walked away then and there, but I held on because part of me blamed myself. In my sickness, I held people at a distance, so I felt like I deserved negative things. We would fight a lot. The health problems added a whole new dimension to something that would be hard for any couple. I couldn't trust that she loved me as much as she said she did because of certain things that I found out. A few months after the transplant, me and her decided to get away from everything and stay with her mother on the south of Spain. One night, we were sat on the grass, looking up at the sky, being surrounded by avocado and lemon trees. It felt like we were in some sort of Eden-like paradise. She asked me to marry her. It was her way of proving that she loved me and would always love me. And I said yes, but I meant no. Even when we went to pick out rings, I just felt scared. I lost the ability to trust love. I don't fully blame her for that. She was an awesome person trying to navigate a complicated situation. I blame my sickness. My sickness was an inseparable from me, and so I blame myself. After about a month of being home, she sat down with me one day and told me she decided to move to Australia for a year. She told me it wouldn't change anything between us. I had my doubts. Despite the additional stress in my life, something amazing was happening. About 4 months after the stem cell transplant, I noticed the desire to leave the house. I noticed more colour in my skin. I joined a gym that was a 3-minute walk from my house. I started working out for the first time in years. Music started pouring back into my life. I was singing more. I was producing more. And this was all leading up to my favourite chapter so far.
Yo, that was cool. That was cool. That one was cool. That one, it had some moments in there with just the way that, time and suffering and all that kind of stuff had messed with him. But that one didn't break me down. That one was encouraging. There were a lot of aha moments in there if you were paying attention. For the people, for the people that were paying attention and hearing it for what it really was, there were a lot of moments that should cause you to kind of do some reflection of your own character, your own activities, your own complaints. I said it in the last video, sometimes we complain about stuff that is trivial. Really isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. It might be bad to us because that's abnormal. It's not what we're used to, but yeah. All right, let's get through this song.
And this was all leading up to my favourite chapter so far.
It's good. That was fun to watch. That was fun to watch.
Oh, that sounds wavy. Oh shit. It's like I don't work. No. No flame to spark my glow. My Nike's laced in dirt. Shit. I feel like I'm treading on my own soul. My headphones only working on the left side, but I try to live the right life. My eyes wide and I strive to stop my demons gripping from the inside. These drugs don't work. The pain, it takes control. Blood-stained shirt. I feel like I'm always being chased by the devil. Yo, I try to talk, but I can't seem to get my spoken words right. And I try to keep my stutter alive. And this life, it can be ish, right? Cut you like a flip knife, twist and make you sick, right? And I felt maybe I'll be better off alone. And so I redirect the calls from my phone. I learned so many lessons from depression, but in essence, I'm just wishing that these bad thoughts were gone. Sometimes I guess sometimes it's when it's like time is against me. In my mind I kind of mind it, though my mind it tortures me. But I shine, cause when I shine it's like my shines, they set me free. And I rhyme, I shine so bright, these rhymes come out of me. Times I bleed, times I crawl, times I slip, times I fall. Times my back's up against the wall, so hard that the whole building could fall. Times I bruise, times I break, times I'm true, times I'm fake. Times I'm when the forward is to open and just swallow me for goodness sake. I think I'm gonna break, cause the ache in his face, I'm awake in the wall.
Yo, that was crazy.
Sometimes no time for double taste, but that's just the way life goes sometimes. But I don't want to end up in the gutter being bad, but my trouble face down in the puddle where the sun don't shine. I'm coming on the back, I'm on the track, and the top, and it's not no peace. Like when it's on the pain, and I'm praying. Oh Lord, take this pain away.
Yo, he got a sick voice.
So that's a song that me and Ren wrote. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Ren Makes Music, that's REN Makes Music. I am Sam Tompkins UK, that's Sam TOMPKINS UK. This next song is called Same Old Situation. We wrote this not so long ago. Ren Makes Music, that's it.
Okay, let me stop because that was going into the next video already. All right. So real quick, before I get into, going to the other versions and stuff like that, I'm not going to really like hyperanalyze the bars because Ren had a ridiculous cadence on them bars that he was spitting right there. But I got to be transparent. That busking, listening to him, I got a chance to hear the cadence. I got a chance to hear the flows. I got a chance to hear the vocals, the different tones and stuff like that. Sam Tompkins got a voice. I was laughing because I thought it was funny as hell that every time he would lean in to hit his little note, whenever he leaned back, he'd take a puff of a cigarette. And like you sitting up here singing and smoking at the same time. Every time he leaned into the microphone, he leaned back. and then lean into the microphone and lean back. I'm like, it's like I blow out my. Anyway, that I guess that just tickled me, but yeah, I got a chance to hear the vocals and the sound and the structure of the song and everything, but the clarity on this particular video wasn't that great. So I don't want to attempt to break down the bars, and there were certain parts of the song that I couldn't really make out what they were saying. So I'm hoping that as I'm doing these other videos that there's a version of it that's actually clear audio, so I can hear all of the words. So I noticed that as the song was going, so I predetermined I'm not stopping this because I knew that I would probably screw something up along the way because I couldn't make everything out. So all right, give me a second. Let me find these other versions. And I'm going to do all the rest of them. So let's see here. Okay, so I do see that there's an MC session. I do see that there's an official one, and then I also see that there is the Angry Park attendant. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first one that I'm going to do is the blind-eyed. Let's see. I'll do the blind-eyed MC sessions. That'll be the first one that I do. How about that? So yeah, the first one that we're going to do is the MC sessions because that's the first one that popped up on my screen. So I'm gonna do all of the other three, but this is blind-eyed MC sessions. Let's go ahead and get into the second reaction. I'm kind of looking forward to the different versions. All right, let's go.
Hey, we're here for Music Crowns. My name's Ren, and this is Sam Tompkins, and we're going to play one of our songs called Blind Eyes.
And I do know that Music Crowns is kind of like our version, or kind of like the UK version of like Tiny Desk, so to speak, or like one of those platforms where they display some of the most popular and hottest music artists and this, that, and other. So I've heard of Music Crowns before, but I didn't really know the details of what they were, but thankfully, I mean, I can see, you guys can't see it on my screen, but I can see right here that, in the description, it tells what Music Crowns is. So yeah. Because I know there's going to be a whole lot of comments in there where people are going to be trying to explain to me what Music Crowns is, but I do see this. I do see the description, so I know what they are.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy it.
Sam looks a little bit different in this one.
This lighter don't work, no.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot clearer.
No flame to spark my goal. My Nike's laced in dirt. Oh.
My Nike's laced in dirt.
I've ended up treading on my own soul. My headphones only working on the left side, but I try to live the right life.
Bars. My headphones only working on the left side, but I try to live the right life. Left, right. Bars.
Eyes wide, and I strive to stop.
Wait a minute, it didn't go back. I'm trying to get it to go back a little bit.
My headphones only working on the left side, but I try to live the right life. My eyes wide, and I strive to stop my demons gripping, ripping from the inside. This
This road is dark and I can't find the batteries for my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed and I'm tired.
First of all, I like the structure. You know what I'm saying? In the rhyme scheme of this, where it's going eyesight, and you know what I'm saying? But there's an internal and an external rhyme scheme that's going on even in this singer right here because of the way he is. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? I like the structure of the way that he's breaking this down, but he's spitting some bars in there too. Talking about dark and I can't find the batteries from my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed. I can't see. Bro, that's bars.
From the inside, this road is dark and I can't find the batteries for my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed and I'm tired.
The road is dark and I can't find the batteries for my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed. I don't know where I'm going. I can't see the road ahead of me and I'm tired. Bruh, that's bars.
Hi.
I like Sam's voice too. Sam's voice blends well with Ren's voice, and he ain't smoking a cigarette on this one. Yeah.
These drugs don't work. Pain, it takes control.
Hey, that little scat that he did right there was fire.
Pain, it takes control.
Yeah.
I've got a blood-stained shirt. I feel like I'm always being chased by the devil. Yo, I tried to talk, but I can't seem to get my spoken words right. And I tried to keep my stutter light.
That's dope. I tried to talk, but I can't seem to get my spoken word. I can't seem to talk. I can't seem to get my words to come out right, but spoken word is also a form of like poetry. I can't seem to get my spoken words right. That's bars. And then he does the stutter. Bruh, that's bars.
Words right, and I try to keep my stutter light. And this life can be ish right.
And it hits a lot harder too now that I've seen, you know, the other chapters, and I know that there was a period during the chapters where he kind of had trouble with speech and stuttering and repeating words and all that other kind of stuff that was in the last video we just watched. But having seen that now, that even that part right there hits different. And it's funny too, because how often do we listen to songs like this by artists and we think they're just songs? You know, and a good portion of the songs that are written in the industry today are written by like other writers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear stuff like this and then you get the opportunity to follow the journey of Ren and you understand where he came from and you understand the trials that he's gone through, then you know that these aren't just songs. You know that he's actually telling you his life in his songs. Like this is when you listen to him and he's saying these words, these aren't just words. Like he's like, this is really him. But the average listener is going to pass over this like this is just a song, but it's not. So it hits different when you follow the journey and you actually know a little bit about him. Then when you hear these words, you're like, oh, damn. Like he's speaking his truth in these songs.
I seem to get my spoken words right, and I try to keep my stutter light. And this life can be ish right, cut you like a flick knife, twist and make you sick right. And I think maybe I'd be better off alone. So I redirect the calls from my phone. I learned so many lessons from depression, but in essence I'm just wishing that these bad thoughts were gone.
Yeah.
He said this life can be shit, like he said flip knife. We call it like a switchblade, like a flip knife, and stick it in and twist it. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Sam. I haven't dug into Sam yet, so I don't know about his individual artistry. But watching Ren, there's one thing that I've learned about Ren that's just undeniable. Ren, with his talent and his genius and his ability to adapt, and just like genius is the word, his genius, his musical genius. I've watched him do collabs with several people so far. His collabs with Chinchilla, his collabs with Webby, now his collabs with Sam Tompkins, and I've heard one other one that I've heard. But anyway, in the collabs that I've heard him do, it is apparent to me that Ren is a chameleon. This motherfucker can blend in with anybody. I don't give a fuck who you put him on the stage with or who you put him on the mic with or in the studio with. He will adapt and sound like he was meant to be with that person. Like, for real, he's a genius. I love Sam's voice. I'm really going to have to listen to some more stuff by him now. I really love his voice. And when he can sing live like this, you know what I'm saying, I'm even more impressed, because there's so many singers right now that when you put them on these live mics, we've seen that even in the tiny desk that people are doing over here. They've been doing tiny desk with people that I grew up loving. And you listen to them and it's like, oh man, yeah, you should never sing live. I'm sorry. Some of them tiny desks have been bullshit.
Sometimes
I get these times when it's like time works against me. In my mind,
I did hear that when I was listening to it before. I got the structure of it. I couldn't hear the exact words, so I didn't want to break down bars or anything. But one thing that I did hear in the previous version that we were listening to is the way that he was repeating words, the times and times and times, and then went into the next one and repeat that word throughout that bar. And the way that he's structuring that is fire as hell.
Sometimes
I get these times when it's like time works against me.
And the funny part is he was just talking about sometimes getting my spoken word. And in this moment right here, when he does this and it's like these times are working against me and he stops playing the guitar, he breaks into a form of spoken word right here before he goes back to doing kind of like a hip hop version. But that's what he's doing right now. It's spoken word. So it's funny as hell that he just got done saying, trying to get my spoken word. Anyway. It's fire, but it doesn't even surprise me anymore when I see Ren doing this stuff.
Sometimes
I get these times when it's like time works against me. In my mind, I kind of mind that my mind can torture me, but you see, I rhyme. Because when I rhyme, it's like my rhymes can set me free.
I mind that my mind is torturing me. Bruh, the way that he's doing this is ridiculous.
Time works against me. In my mind, I kind of mind that my mind can torture me, but you see, I rhyme. Because when I rhyme, it's like my rhymes can set me free. I shine so bright, I shine these times, these rhymes come out of me. Times I bleed, times I crawl, times I slip, times I fall. Times my back is up against the wall so hard that the whole building could fall.
Sometimes my back is up against the wall so hard that the whole building could fall. Bro.
Times I slip, times I fall.
But then he did fall twice. Sometimes I slip, sometimes I fall. And then says, sometimes my back's up against the wall so hard the whole building could fall. So he used fall twice with two different meanings.
These rhymes come out of me. Times I bleed, times I crawl.
Or not with two different meanings. They had the same meanings, but with two different topics or two different focal points. The first fall was focused on him, and the second fall was focused on the whole structure. This whole thing could fall down.
Times I slip, times I fall, times my back is up against the wall so hard that the whole building could fall. Times I bruise, times I break, times I'm true, times I'm fake, times I'm up when the food is not opening, swallow me for goodness sake, and I think I'm gonna break, is it aching as bait, I'm awake in the war for the pain, simple man, okay, pressing the brakes, but the brakes they break, and I'm driving my universe into a lake in the way.
Awake in a world for, and he says Superman, no cape, but then he says universe, the DC universe, he's still spitting bars, right?
Times I'm fake, times I'm up when the food is not opening, swallow me for goodness sake, and I think I'm gonna break, is it aching as bait, I'm awake in the war for the pain, simple man, okay, pressing the brakes, but the brakes they break, and I'm driving my universe into a lake in the way. Wait to the world, don't wait, we make mistakes when it's all at stake, we cook our cake, we eat our cake, sometimes no time for double takes, but
we cook our cake, we eat our cake,
make mistakes when it's all at stake, we cook our cake, we eat our cake, sometimes no time for double takes, but
that's just the way life goes sometimes.
We cook our cake, we eat our cake, sometimes no time for double takes. So there's no time, sometimes there's no time for looking back, for looking again. Sometimes you don't get a second chance. We cook our cake, we eat our cake, sometimes you don't have time for another slice. However you want to, whatever analogy you want to put around that bar was fire. Sometimes there's no time for double takes. Sometimes you only get one chance. There's no time for it,
universe into a lake in the way. Wait to the world, don't wait. We make mistakes when it's all at stake. We cook our cake, we eat our cake. Sometimes no time for double takes, but
that's just the way life goes sometimes.
But I don't wanna end up in the gutter being battered by my trouble face down in the puddle where the sun don't shine. I'm gonna give it a backbone, the track and attack and the stacking of the beast like I did with this one.
This motherfucking twist cadence that he's doing right here is ridiculous. Here's the funny part about it though. This is a drummer. He's drumming with his words right now. Like I can't even do it. He's drumming right now with his vocals. And it's kind of like he's doing like this. You would say he's rapping because this is a style, a cadence that he's doing, but Eminem does this. I've heard Harry Mack do this. There's very few Twista can do it. There's very few that can actually double time. And that's after he just says no time for double takes, and then he goes into double time. You know what I'm saying, with his vocals. But very few people can drum roll they vocals that way. Like what he's doing is not normal. It's borderline superhuman in the rap game. There's very few that can do it. Very few.
For double take.
That can do it and make it sound good.
That's just the way life goes sometimes.
But I don't wanna end up in the gutter being battered by my trouble face down in the puddle where the sun don't shine. I'm gonna give it a backbone, the track and attack and the stacking of the beast like I did with this one. I'm packing and I'm praying.
Oh Lord,
that was crazy.
take this pain away.
That was crazy. Yeah, I love Sam's voice. I gotta go listen to some more Sam. Y'all been telling me to check out Sam. I haven't done it yet. And I've been getting a lot of suggestions to check out this artist and that artist and go into this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole. And like I said, every time somebody sends me a request or somebody sends me a comment, like I write these things down because I definitely want to get to them. But I'm kind of locked into this rabbit hole right this second. And I've got other releases that I need to cover and stuff like that of some of the newer stuff that's coming out. So with that said, I don't have time for 50 rabbit holes all at once. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to dig into this rabbit hole, and then there's going to be a moment where I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to start going into some of this other stuff, and then I can come back. But I have to find that sweet spot for me, because I literally would have to sleep in front of this camera if I was to cover everything that everybody's suggesting to me all at once. But I'm going to get to your stuff. Just ride it out with me. Eventually, you're going to look up one day and you're going to get a notification and you're going to be like, oh, shit, he on it. Yeah, I'm going to get it. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I liked that one. I like Sam's voice. I know I just said that, but I am going to get into some Sam. I'm gonna get into some Sam. I really like that one. Okay, so what is the next one that I have up here for me to check out is the Ren Blind Eye featuring Sam Tompkins, and I wanna say that I think this is the official video. Yeah, I think this is the official music video that we're gonna do next. So I'm gonna do the official music video. And then the last one I'm going to do is the one that everybody's been telling me that they want me to do, and it's the car park attendant one. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the official music video.
This lighter don't work, no.
Oh, this definitely already sounds different. This definitely sounds different already, just from because now you got a produced sound, so you got the music and everything. This one sounds clean right here.
No flame to spark my goal.
I like the finger snaps. That adds a different ambiance to the song. I'm going to let it play a little bit more because I don't need to break down the bars, but I am hearing a difference in this version of the song. And there you go, flicking that lighter. Don't put that cigarette in your mouth, man.
This lighter don't work, no. No flame to spark my goal. My Nike's laced in dirt. Oh.
I just caught that. Damn. I just caught that. I heard it. I heard the bar. But see, now there's bars in the visual. He's sitting there at the beginning trying to flick the lighter while he's got the cigarette in his hand, but the flame don't light. The lighter doesn't light. So he says, I feel like I don't work because the lighter's not working. No flame to spark my goal. Bruh, see? I thought I wasn't going to have nothing to break down, but the visual just gave me a bar that you didn't pick up just listening to the words. Bro, that was fire.
No flame to spark my goal.
That's fire.
My Nike's laced in dirt. I've ended up treading on my own soul. My headphones only working on the left side, but I try to.
Audibly, I like the sound of this one. I love the song. I love the words. I love the cadences and stuff like that. But audibly, this goes hard. I love the sound of the actual produced project.
Treading on my own soul. Headphones only working on the left side, but I try to live the right life. My eyes wide and I strive to stop my demons ripping from the inside. This road is dark and I can't find the batteries for my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed.
I got goosies right now. This version goes hard. I don't know what the car park attendant one that y'all keep telling me about, but this version right here go hard as fuck. Because now I'm getting the words, I'm getting the cadences, deliveries, and stuff like that, but I'm also getting like a different vibe from this track. The way that beat is dropping and the melody and the different sounds that you hear going on in the background, and then you get to that's all that kind of bruh, this shit right here go hard. This shit go hard.
Strive to stop my demons ripping from the inside. This road is dark and I can't find the batteries for my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed and I'm tired.
And I like that beat. Doom, 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 doom. This shit go hard right here. Yeah. I'm not gonna make it through this video. This shit go hard. Is this another one take video right here? The way he opened up the door and this went through here. So the fact that they're incorporating the one take, but if Ren produced this, I don't know if Ren and Sam Tompkins produced this together or if Ren did the production on this. I don't know. But all the different nuances that he included in the track that you don't get to hear on the busking version, that I didn't even get to hear on the Crown one where they were singing with you heard the guitar and you heard the vocals, but you don't get all this. This one gives you a different energy. For real, this one just makes me make the stank face the whole time.
For my flashlight, I'm blind-eyed and I'm tired.
That is crazy. And it's funny because that noise that's being made right now is the noise that they were singing when you heard the live versions. That's the sound that the instruments are making right now. That is fucking fire. Bruh, this shit is doing something to me. I can sit and just listen to the instrumental. They ain't even got to sing no more. This track is ridiculous.
These drugs don't work.
Yeah.
The pain, it takes control. A blood-stained shirt. I feel like I'm always being chased by the devil.
I tried to talk, but I can't seem to get these spoken words right. And I try to keep my stutter alive. And this life can be ish, right? Cut you like a flick knife, twist and make you sick, right? And I think maybe I'll be better off alone. So I redirect the calls from my phone. I learned so many lessons from depression, but in essence I'm just wishing that these bad thoughts were gone.
Then when that little hook comes in and the cymbal, bruh, this shit. I know y'all sitting up here looking at me right now. This shit just got my face all twisted up and I can't be serious. For real. This song, as with several of the other ones, there are certain songs. I love all his work. I respect all the craft work of Ren. You know what I'm saying? This is my first introduction really into Sam Tompkins. But this fucking track right here, this one is going in my personal playlist. I love all his shit and I listen to all his shit multiple times, but there are select few songs that I have in my personal, I'm finna bang this shit playlist. And this shit right here goes hard. Bruh, I can't wait to bang this one. I like how they went up the steps into the dark. That is crazy. Silence. All you have is the doom, the doom, doom, the doom. That's all, bruh. This is crazy.
Sometimes I bleed, sometimes I crawl, sometimes I slip, sometimes I fall. Sometimes my back's up against the wall so hard that the whole building could fall. Sometimes I bruise, sometimes I break, sometimes I'm true, sometimes I'm fake. Sometimes I'm over for a moment when the forward is start opening and swallow me for goodness sake. And I think I'm gonna break, the ache in this bait, I'm awake in a ball full of pain. To a man, no cape, and I'm pressing the brakes, but the brakes they break. And I'm driving my universe into a lake and don't wait at the ball, don't wait. We make mistakes when it's all at stake. We cook our cake, we eat our cake. Sometimes no time for double taste, but that's just the way life goes sometimes. But I don't wanna end up in the gutter, be about my trouble face down in the puddle where the sun don't shine. I'm coming to give the backbone, the track and attacking, stacking up beats like I did with this one. I'm packing and I'm praying, oh Lord, take this pain away, away, away.
Let me tell y'all something. I am glad. I promise you. Listen, y'all. I'm glad that this was the first version that I listened to. I am glad that I'm glad that this was not the first version that I listened to. Because if this was the first version I listened to, I gotta be honest with y'all, I wouldn't have gave a fuck about none of the other versions. This shit right here goes so hard. The official recording production of this song, ridiculous. Anybody that doesn't like, I know like word wise and topic wise, and I know that there are songs that probably hit you deeper in your heart and in your spirit than this song did, even though this song had purpose and had meaning and intention behind it too. But very few songs hit that fucking hard. And I'm not even just talking about written songs. I'm talking about songs, period. The production of that song was fucking ridiculous. Any producers on here that follow me, any producers that are listening to this, I know that you were drooling listening to this track. You can't tell me that you weren't sitting up here like, oh my God, eyes wide open, drooling, listening to that production. Your wheels, your gears just start spinning. You probably got all kinds of ideas listening to that. That production was masterful. Masterful. There was not a flaw in that production. The way that the vocals blended with the track, all the background noises, the breaks that were in there, the beat changes, like everything, the effects of the amp that came in at certain spots in there, like there's not a spot in there where that production wasn't perfect. That hits different. That one hits different. I'm going to go ahead and listen to this car park attendant version because that's the one that all of y'all, like 90% of y'all said, make sure you check out the car park version. So there's got to be a reason that that's y'all favorite. But right now, I love hearing Ren sing live. I love seeing Ren play the guitar live. I really, really love Sam's voice. So hearing them play live gave me a level of respect for Sam even. So I loved the first two versions. I'm just going to say it again. I'm glad I didn't listen to this one first because I would have never got past this one. I'd have been like, there's no way they topped this version. There's no way. I don't even care to listen to the rest of them. There's no way they topped that version. But we're going to go ahead and get into the car park attendant version because y'all told me that I need to pay attention to the car park attendant version. So, we're about to go ahead and check it out. All right. Let's go.
Done?
Rolling.
Keep going.
Yeah, well, that one.
It's like I don't work, no. No flame to spark my goal. My Nike's laced in dirt, oh.
One thing though is I remember, the story, watching the other videos and stuff like that. And as I'm watching this, like, it's just funny to me because it warms my heart a little bit seeing these two together and then hearing that fire ass song that y'all just had me listen to, and listening to. These two didn't know each other. This was a guy that was out on the street busking, didn't have no amp, didn't have no guitar, didn't have no background music. He was singing a cappella, trying his best to get an audience. And Ren heard him. And even though Ren heard him, I don't think that because he had just ran across him. So he didn't really know what he was capable of yet. This was just Ren's heart saying, hey, this guy's out here trying to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. Let me go over here and see if I can help this dude. So he starts to play the guitar to give him some background, some accompaniment, and he lets him use his amp so that he can have a good night. But I'm sure that while listening to him and while playing with him, Ren was like, oh, wait a minute, this dude kind of dope. You know what I mean? And this came of that, of two strangers. And I tell y'all all the time, you heard me say all the time, we're more connected than we are separate. You know what I'm saying? And just to see that Ren said, I'm going to go help this person. And because he went over there to help this person, they ended up forming something that obviously was destined in this collaboration that the two of them have. But I also notice another thing, that whenever I watch Ren, his collaborations, because of who he is in his heart, and I don't know much about Sam yet, but he's obviously got to be kind of similar in heart. Most of his collaborations turn into something else. Like, yeah, they make great music, and yeah, they can work with each other and this, that, and other. But Ren's heart, his spirit, his energy and stuff like that, you notice that every single person that he comes across ends up like loving him. Like, when you see them together, they act like, they behave like good old friends, like real genuine, like there's a relationship, there's a bond that you can see in their interaction and stuff like that. And it's like, that's the energy that you get whenever you come in contact with Ren. He there's a spirit that you just want to be attached to. Like, you just want to be around him. You just want to be attached to that energy, to that spirit, to that thinking, to that heart, to all that kind of stuff. And you can see it. You watch the documentary and stuff like that with him and Webby, and you see this, and you see him and Chinchilla working together. And when you see the artists performing together, there's a different sort of energy. I've seen Chinchilla perform by herself. I like her. I haven't seen Sam perform by himself. I've seen Webby perform by herself. But when you see them working together, you get a different energy from them when they're working with him. And I'm not going to say that they don't already have that energy in them at all. So, because I don't want to take anything away from the Webbies and Chinchillas and Sams, and you know what I'm saying. I don't want to take anything away from any of those people, but I'm just saying that Ren's presence seems to bring out the best in people, and you see a genuine camaraderie when they're working together. I don't even really know how to describe that, but it's a visual. You can see how people feel comfortable and in their best space when they're around him.
I feel like I'm treading on my own soul. Yeah, my headphones only working on the left side, but I try to live the right life. My eyes wide and I strive to stop my demons ripping from the inside. This road is dark and I can't find the batteries for my flashlight. I'm blind-eyed and I'm tired.
The other thing too is that I respect about Ren is when he's working, because Ren is so supremely talented. When he's working with other artists, he's not a spotlight guy. He doesn't need the spotlight to be on him. He's never trying to outdo or outshine. As a matter of fact, he's the type of person to where if the spotlight does drift over to him, he'll take it and push it back over on them. Like, and that's very obvious when he's working with other people. You can see the look on his face, and he's enjoying listening to Sam sing. You know, he doesn't need to hurry up, come bring it over here. Like, he's not even trying to overpower him with the guitar or any of that kind of stuff. He is perfectly comfortable in the space of, you take this, I'll back you up. Which shows even in their first meeting, I am willing to stand in the back and play the guitar for you and let you shine. Bro, that's dope.
Drugs don't work.
Da, da, da.
The pain, it takes control. I got a blood-stained shirt, and I feel like I'm always being chased by the devil. Yo, 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 yo.
try to talk, but I can't seem to get my spoken words right. And I try to keep my satellite. And this life can be quite shit, right? Cut you like a flick knife, twist and make you sick, right? And I think maybe I'll be better off alone. So I read the records from my phone. I learned so many lessons from depression. In essence, I'm just wishing that these bad thoughts were gone, you know.
That's the first time that I noticed that part, though. I won't lie. See, I like when I get to analyze these things. First time I noticed on the first hook, when Sam went first, Ren was the one doing the ooh, ooh, and then and Sam was doing the ah. But then now this time, after Ren finishes doing his verse, Sam is the one doing the first part, and Ren is doing the ah, ah. So it's like they flipped them. I didn't even pay attention to that the first time.
Stop the string. Fuck it.
I snapped the string. Fuck it. I like the fact that even when the little dude was like telling them, y'all gotta go, y'all, they didn't even stop. They didn't like, okay, pack it up. They just started walking away, but they kept singing.
Sometimes I get these times when it's like time works against me. In my mind, I kind of mind, yet that my mind can torture me. So I rhyme, because when I rhyme, it's like my rhymes, they set me free. I shine so bright, I shine these times, these rhymes come out of me. Times I breathe, times I fall, times I slip, times I crawl. Times my back is up against the wall, so hard that the whole building could fall. Times I breathe, times I break, times I'm true, times I'm fake. Times I'm when the floor is the old niggas wanna be for goodness sake. And nothing when the break is the ache and it's bait. I'm awake in the world for the base, my man, okay. Pressing the bait when the bass they break. And I know my universe is never getting away. Wait, but the world don't wait, we make mistakes when it's all a state. We cook our cake, we eat our cake, sometimes no time for double takes.
That's just the way life goes sometimes.
I'll be in battle, put my double face down in the puddle where the sun don't shine. So I'm coming in the back on the track and attacking the beast like I did with this one. I'm packing and then I'm praying.
Oh Lord, take this pain away.
We ruined that guitar. Sick.
Broken string and all. I like that. I like that. That was super fun. That was super fun. I thought it was real cool when the car, I see why y'all, because it was funny how the car park attendant came and ran them off. They kept singing all the way down. It was kind of dope, actually, that at the pace that they were walking, when they were walking out and this, that, and other. And then it was also funny that in the video, when he came through the door and he was like, sometimes I feel like I'm being chased, was literally right after the car park attendant just chased them out the way. So that was kind of dope. That was perfect timing. And then it was also perfect timing that when the song ended, they were right at the bottom at the entrance to the car garage. They're like, it was timed perfectly. So that was dope. That was dope. I like that part of it. They accidentally made visual genius, if that makes sense. But, and the first one, obviously, I love the authentic busking sound of it. I like hearing Ren in his element, doing that in the first one. So that was beautiful. I just had a little problem, in the beginning, hearing all the words that I was finally able to hear. I heard the tones, I heard the cadences and all that, which I knew it was going to be dope. But listening to, The words, I had trouble making some of them out. The sound quality of the recording wasn't that great. So I needed to keep going after that one. I did hear the structure of it though. I heard the way that it was laid out with the two different singers. So I knew that the structure of the song was going to be fire. Then we got into the second one and you heard it a lot clearer. I caught the words when they did the crowns. So I was like, okay, that's dope. I did not expect though after that one, I thought that versions 3 and 4 were just going to be more of that, just with a little different kind of switch to it. I was not expecting the third version, the official audio. I was not expecting that to hit as hard as it did. That motherfucker almost twisted me up on the inside. I had goosebumps everywhere, chills everywhere. My heart was racing. I was like, shit. And like every one of my senses was on high alert listening to that one. That is fire. That's fire. Now I can't wait to hear some of the other stuff, and I haven't dug into it. It's on, I'm going to get into more of it because, I'm on this rabbit hole. So I'm obviously going to get to more of it, but I am looking forward to experiencing more of Ren and Sam together. I will just say I'm also looking forward to listening to Sam by himself because his voice is phenomenal, which is hard for me. I still can't get over the first one where he's leaning in. I can't get past that. Hey, y'all, that was fun as hell. Thank y'all for buckling up. Thank y'all for sitting in with me. As always, I love y'all. Ain't shit y'all can do about it. Till the next one, y'all. Class dismissed.